Hello, sweet people. So this is what happened to me. It's been a crazy, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. First of all, I was set to go on a wonderful romantic date this evening. It's a Friday evening here in Bray, in Wicklow, Ireland. And I was going to go to my favourite bar in the world, the Harbour Bar. Back to my favourite local. And my new boyfriends, who were just literally 3 weeks seeing each other, but it's going swimmingly well, as they say. The two of us were very excited to see each other and to have our lovely date. And he rang me to say that his car had broke down. So God love him, he was stranded and I was worried about him, but he's okay. He's been towed back home and he's fine. Hence the little black dress and the gypsy earrings and all that. Although I pretty much wear my gypsy earrings whenever I can. So my evening, I'm in my new cottage, my beautiful coach house cottage, which is connected to the beautiful Victorian house where Phil Coulter, the amazing, talented Irish singer-songwriter Phil Coulter, lives. So this is my little domain here, and this is the upstairs part. I must do a tour and show you because it's absolutely, the gardens are just gorgeous. Like, this place is so me, it's so my style. It's, yeah, I'm absolutely delighted here. But I figured, well, Spirit must want me to do a video for you guys. So here I am. That's dedication for you. Was very disappointed, as I said, not to be meeting my lovely Cavan man tonight, but I'll see him soon. Okay, so the other day, it was actually the 26th when I channeled this little piece. I'm going to read it out for you now. And it's just about the upcoming energy shifts that are happening for all you super sensitives, you empaths, light workers, way showers, spiritually awake and conscious people. I just find I'm getting more and more, just when I think I can't be more sensitive and more tuned in to the energetic shifts. I have to tell you, over 3 weeks ago now, I was actually taken by ambulance. Yeah, never ever had that experience before in my life. It was absolutely crazy. I was taken by ambulance at about 4 in the morning. I was just so ill and I couldn't breathe and I was chronically throwing up and vomiting, and I pretty much passed out. And this is before I moved. I only moved recently. My then housemate found me passed out upstairs in the landing, so it was crazy and he didn't know what to do, and eventually he just thought I better call an ambulance to be sure. So yeah, and of course that was the night of the 9th of July, the Tundra new moon, the super moon, the second super moon, which was just so palpably profound for me. I mean, I literally, the night I was taken in the ambulance was a dark night of the soul. And since then I've done a bit of research, and it turns out that a lot of you guys were having the exact same experience, that you were actually, a lot of people were freaking out. There was a lot of breakdowns, a lot of breakthroughs. For me, it was definitely a breakthrough, but it definitely felt like a breakdown. Physically, I actually thought I was going to die. I actually thought, this is it, Aveen, you know. And to be honest, I was feeling so unwell. I actually would have welcomed it because I just felt so bad. Not just physically, but spiritually and emotionally. It was like being trapped in a room with all my deepest fears. And it was definitely childhood stuff. I didn't even know that moon was meant to, I knew the moon, I'm always aware of the moon activity because I feel it, because I hadn't slept. The night I was taking the ambulance, I actually had not slept for 3 nights solid. So I was exhausted. I had my first date on the 9th. Earlier that day, I met, who's now my boyfriend, David. I met David for the first time, which was wonderful, in Greystones went to the Happy Pear, had a lovely date. We must have spent over 4 hours together, which I knew then we were actually really connecting. But didn't feel so good when I got home. Felt lightheaded, had to lie down. My nose started to bleed. Yeah, it was really, really crazy. I can just see that little bit of... I just want to give that a wipe. Yeah, so it was probably one of the worst. It was a really, really, really rough time. I couldn't eat or sleep much for a week and a half after. So, I mean, I have an amazing appetite. I can eat people under the table. I usually have twice what everybody else is having. I eat very well. I eat very good food, but I don't usually eat little. I usually have a very, very strong appetite. And for the first time in my life, I just had no appetite. I was weak. I kind of had to take the week off work, which is unheard of for me. Really, really weak and ill, but so thankful a few days later when that horrible, intense energy wore off. But it was definitely childhood insecurities. It was like, to me, it was like a death. It was a spiritual death. It was definitely the angel saying to me, this is 3D old programs. You cannot take this stuff, these heavy, dense, negative concepts with you into the 5D now, because we've gone too far into the 5D. We're really, really living it. We're really breathing it. This stuff can't come with you. So you're going to have to, like, we're kind of going to have to give you a crash course in facing that head on and just moving through it. It wasn't even like that I got a chance to go around it or over it or under it. It was like I had to sift through it and sit with myself for hours. I mean, before I collapsed, I did spend hours trying to deal with this intense emotional barrage of really intense, as I said, purging energies. You know, definitely it was a purge, and physically, because I was vomiting and vomiting and vomiting. It was crazy. Anyway, moving on. Since then, things have been amazing. Like, it's like I went from my worst nightmare into my perfect, ideal, beautiful existence of a dream life. I mean, I wish I could show you guys where I'm living. I mean, it's just, I'm looking down at the garden. It's just incredible. And I mean, I want to get back to Bray for ages, and I'm still just chuffed to be back here. This has always been like a spiritual home for me. I love living by the sea. I need to live by the sea. I need the cliffs. I need the hike. I need the forests and nature and the sea energy. So that's great. So I had a little, I woke up during the night. I had a little angel tap me on the shoulder with this information for you guys about the upcoming energies. So we have the Lions Gateway portal. Yes, the 8th of the 8th. So that's coming up for us. And this was downloaded on the 26th of July. So I'll just read it to you. After the tumultuous moon on the 9th July 2017, we can prepare and engage from the 26th of July for the Lions Gate portal. Of course, this new Lions frequencies climax on the 8th of the 8th, earthing diamond light codes into the ground of Gaia and our own body cells. This gateway encourages our inner courage and lion qualities to emerge. Expect expressive anger to wash up for full articulation should you righteously feel is appropriate. Let's not run away with that anger though. And this is the key point. Check in regularly to your emotional body. If there is a situation you feel needs resolving and your assertive skills are usually lacking, the Lion's Gate will support your use of your throat chakra. If there has been something brewing and needs revelation, you will want to release it clearly and calmly now. Just stay in a lion-centeredness before, during and after, because these intense vibrations can sometimes make some feel too entitled, spilling into ego dramas and old programs. The key here is consistency and a deeper connection to your truth. Don't encourage activation of the ego patterns. So they're really saying there, yes, you will feel more assertive than usual. If there is anything that needs to be released or said or expressed, you will feel a strong impulse to do so around these times. And anything where there is a righteous anger needed, you know, and anger, again, I teach a lot about anger. It's so misunderstood. It's so misused. Anger is a positive thing, and it is the fire for change and to help move us back up the emotional scale of things, but only when it's used in a healthy and functional way. So the trick here is you don't want to slip back into ego patterns. You're entitled to get angry if somebody has crossed a boundary with you, but you're encouraged not to go the other way over that and then suddenly slip into diva mode and become an egotistical nightmare. So it's about balance. This is all about balance. And fifth dimension is about balance. It's about functionality. It's about healthy boundaries, respect for the self and respect for others. And blowing your fuse at someone from a very ego space is not respecting yourself or other people. So keep that in mind. So they went on to say, simply acknowledge and dissolve what is not of the fifth dimensional desired self. So it's a good time to release what's no longer fitting in with your new fifth dimensional self. The eclipses on the 7th and 8th of August complete their adventure into our lives on the 21st of August. So that'll be the completion of these new diamond light code frequencies. These are rich magnetic and magical openings in our physical earth reality, as well as our spiritual lives. So, you know, this is a time you're not to, don't abuse these energies. Definitely see them as opportunities and make the most of them, and use them to your advantage. But at the same time, yeah, don't abuse them. Just be aware that sometimes, because some of us have been trained out of using our anger wisely and functionally, when we do actually allow ourselves to feel those burning feelings, we can let it consume us and we can trip into the ego stuff. So it's about being the lioness, standing in your truth, holding your space and staying physically present in your body if somebody is challenging you or bullying you or giving you a hard time or disrespecting you, and being able to hold that state of presence and being conscious. That in itself will dissolve the illusion of the other person and the power trip they're trying to have over you. And actually, it was in talking to a dear friend that the day that I channeled that information was perfect for her. It really related to her situation where she's being challenged in a work situation. And, you know, we spoke at length about being able to stay in the physical body, because as sensitives, when conflict arises, we're inclined to panic, freak out, and just exit the body. So the soul just leaves. And what can happen is it can stay in the ethers, it can stay in the spiritual realms, and then we feel very spacey, we don't feel grounded, we don't feel well, and then we have to go and, you know, see somebody to have it pull back in. But the challenge for the early indigos, the crystals, the rainbows, whatever you want to call us, the different soul volunteers, is different waves of souls that come in at different times. We all do struggle with staying physically present in our physical bodies when negative and conflicting situations arise. And especially when somebody is abusing their power and trying to hook into our power center, into our solar plexus. It's very important that we stand 2 feet firm on the ground. Think of your inner lion or lioness and just hold your space. You know, a lioness is very brave. She's very courageous. And that really is the theme of this Lion's Gateway. It's courage. It's about being courageous. It's about being brave and being, even being brazen, you know, being able to speak up for yourself and stand your ground and being able to articulate your truth. And when we really are able to honor our own truth, regardless of what anybody else has to say or think about it, magical doorways open in our lives.